Go.
Did you know that in recent years, the number of Americans that have volunteered has been decreasing? And for the past 4 years, we've had the lowest amount of volunteers in over a decade. I've volunteered many hours for Hines Community College Honors College, and I've researched volunteering. And during my speech, I'll give you the current statistics of volunteering, the problems facing the volunteering community, and the benefits that volunteering can bring you. It isn't very hard to find volunteer work because there is currently a shortage of volunteers. In Anna Bernasik's Volunteering in America is on the Decline in Newsweek, in the recent years, volunteering rates have dwindled and are currently at the lowest rates in over a decade. This has caused many problems, as many services had to stop functioning because they lost all their volunteers and didn't have the funds to continue after the volunteers were gone. Some states, like Utah, have rates that are increasing, but most of the states are decreasing drastically. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics newsletter, Volunteering in the United States in 2015, they also say that volunteer rates are declining rapidly. They also say that religious groups are the biggest source of volunteer work, and that almost half of volunteers find the volunteer work themselves without being asked by someone else, which is a good sign. However, the rates are still falling. As you can imagine, this lack of volunteers creates many problems. The average percent of Americans who volunteer each year usually is around 25%. However, in recent years, it has fallen to almost 22%. This may not seem like much, but it is a significant amount of people. In Anna Bernasik's article, Volunteer Work in America is on the Decline, volunteering accounts for $175 billion in free work that no one has to pay for. This is a very significant amount of money that cannot come from anywhere else. Many communities lost services that they desperately needed when the volunteers stopped coming. In the Journal of Labor Statistics article, Individuals and Communities, the Importance of Neighbors Volunteering, they say that the benefits of volunteering to the community is very great, and that when you volunteer, it encourages other people in the community to also volunteer. But even still, there's still a shortage. Without volunteers, many poor communities lose the help they need. And just a few hours of community service is shown to increase the happiness of those who you're serving. And these problems in volunteering right now can be fixed if we just increase the amount of volunteers in the community by just a small percentage. You might ask yourself now, well, does volunteering do anything for me? And the answer might surprise you. Volunteering can be very beneficial both to the volunteer and the community at the same time. And in the Corporation for National and Community Service article, The Health Benefits of Volunteering, they state that there's a lot of research being done right now that says that there are individual health and social benefits for people who volunteer more often than people who don't volunteer. Volunteers usually have lower instances of preventable diseases like heart disease, and they also have lower statistics of depression later in life. It says that older volunteers receive more health benefits than others later in their life. And for example, Mississippi has the lowest volunteer rate in all of America and has the highest instance of heart disease in the nation. In Jens Dalternier's Public Library of Science 1 scientific paper, Volunteering, Income, and Health, he says that volunteers who were surveyed were much healthier than those who were not volunteers, and the volunteers that were healthy had health benefits that were significant, and it made them 5 years younger, quote unquote. Volunteering helps health later in life, and research suggests that the benefits are not small, but are very great. It decreases diseases such as heart disease, cancers, and depression later in your life. Now that you all know the problems that the volunteer community is facing, and how volunteering can help you and your community at the same time, I hope that you take steps to find volunteer work so that you can make a difference in your community. Although volunteer rates are falling in America, If everyone just volunteers a few hours a year, we can change that statistic. Let us all take steps to help ourselves and our communities and create a lasting positive impression on those around us.